likeliest chance to say, yep, happened.
So, if I'm having a student come to me with an issue, because I've had this happen now 3 or 4 times, I shouldn't ask any yes or no questions.
You shouldn't ask it, no.
Okay.
No, and even if you're asking Taylor a question, you shouldn't say, Taylor, was I wearing that blue shirt yesterday? Because you've already ruined his memory. You just say, Taylor, what was I wearing yesterday? And that's a finding that could apply to everyday life. When you start to ask these, when you start to suggest your own possibilities, you taint the other person's memory.
Okay.
So the idea is don't give them anything, let them give it to you. And that's kind of like the goal of the project. There's a lot of people that work on this project. This is what I was working on last summer, recruiting participants.
My name's Sarah.
Not enough room, I guess.
Thanked her grandfather and she got pushed. Okay. Yes, no.
Dental school people that I have living here.
So where do you go from here with this one? Is this done, or will it lead it? What are you going to do this summer then? If you have any idea.
This summer is I'm gonna be working at UVA, so it's something completely different. That's an ed focused stuff. This is like cognitive stress and memory. Ideally, we'd like to have more participants. We only had 28 participants. And how stats work is the lower amount of participants you have, the less likely you will be able to come up with these statistical tests that says, yes, this is a real effect. So in science, the only thing we present here, the things with little asterisks, are real results. These are things we can say with 95 or 99% confidence, yes, this really is a relationship. These things that aren't starred, right here, we say we think this is what's happening. So these stars just basically are a statistical way of saying, yes, this is science. Science says yes. And so a lot of psychology now is just stats based. What do the statistics say about these relationships? And so one of the important parts of our finding here is that we were able to account for 51% of the variance in recall, which means that we know half of the factors that go into, if I asked a kid right now for a dental procedure, what happened? We would be able to predict 51% of what they would say, just knowing these other variables. So if we know their age, if we know their previous experience, if we know if they discussed the event beforehand, and if we know how they would cope with stress, we could say, this kid will probably be here later. Yeah. So that's what this model is basically doing. And that obviously leaves...
So it really doesn't take, it just, we're talking as 2, so it could be a 25-month-old versus a 35-month-old.
Oh, no. This is a what's called a hierarchical regression model. And so what this does is it standardizes everything up here. So we include different ideas here. What they do is they say, how much does discussion and experience overlap? Erase that. So so things don't double count. So we choose variables that don't overlap with each other. Like age is not related to coping. If we have
no measure for any verbal skills.
No,
you could have a very verbal 3-year-old.
This was a lot of those verbal tests take a long time to get, and once these kids come out of these procedures, they're pretty stressed out. And just for time's sake, we don't want the procedure to last too long and the interview to last too long. So we don't have that, but I'm sure we could eat up a lot of that remaining 49% if we had measures of that.
And how about